My name is Olga Martzoukou, and I'm a Marie Curie postdoctoral fellow at the Molecular Physiology of the Cell Lab of ULB, and I will share my experience from the process of submitting a proposal for the Marie Curie action. A brief overview of my experience so far with MSCA postdoctoral fellowships is as follows. I was awarded a European MSCA postdoctoral fellowship with a duration of 24 months. The fellowship is hosted at ULB and includes 2 secondments, a 7-month secondment at Labiris and a 1-month secondment at Münster University. I submitted the proposal PEROXISCENCE in 2024 and it received a score of 95%. I will start with a few comments regarding the template that must be used. It is essential to follow the MSCA 2026 template, as the structure and requirements may change from year to year. In addition, it is important to consult the MSCA work program and its annexes, and to familiarize yourself with the funding and tenders portal. I also found the postdoctoral fellowship handbook extremely useful, as it highlights common mistakes to avoid, provides positive and negative comments from previous evaluation reports, and it offers very detailed guidance for each section and subsection, including how to address them and what they should contain. As far as the preparation of the proposal is concerned, it is important to start as early as possible. It is also essential to contact your host lab and the host institution, as they will provide valuable advice, guidance, and feedback for your proposals. But this means that you need to allow enough time to receive their comments and make the necessary adjustments before submission. You will also need some direct information, such as institutional policies, quality and capacity of the host institutions and participating organizations, hosting arrangements. For example, does your host institution have an international welcome desk? What training activities are offered? And if they have an HR Excellence in Research Award, this is something you should mention in your proposal. You should also obtain details about the research focus of the host lab, the supervisor's CV, research facilities, lab equipment, as well as previous involvement or current involvement in European or national research programs, actions, etc. Regarding the first criterion, excellence, it has the highest weight, 50%, so it's probably the most critical part of your proposal. For the scientific part, you can follow either a top-down or a bottom-up approach. It is important to define your research objectives clearly and to link them to specific work packages, which means you should define a work package that will implement each objective. Including preliminary results, if possible, is highly desirable, as it helps establish credibility for your proposal. And make sure you explain the state of the art, the existing gaps in the literature, and any novelty aspects of your research objectives. To enhance the clarity and readability, you may add figures, but it is also essential that all key information is included in the main text. Moreover, you should ensure that every required element is placed in the correct section and subsection. It is also important to describe the methodological approaches you will follow to implement each research objective, depending also on your subject area, of course. Other important elements to include are interdisciplinarity aspects. For example, how your research field will be combined with other scientific disciplines, the open science practices you will implement by providing specific examples that show how the outcomes of your research will be made available to the scientific community, the gender dimension, and your research data management strategy. Again, in the section Excellence, you will also have to present some well-defined training activities both scientific and for general skill acquisition. From what I understand, it is important to demonstrate why you are the suitable person to carry out the proposed research based on your previous achievements. So you should describe some skills you may already possess, referring to your relevant research experience or publications. You should also propose some innovative ideas for your research that could ideally extend your current skill set, in combination with the infrastructure, expertise, and training opportunities offered by the host institution. This is important to justify why you want to join this specific lab and how this will help you. Also keep in mind that the long-term goal is for you to achieve professional maturity by the end of the fellowship, so you should include training activities that you believe will help you achieve your career goals. Also, some skills you already have or those you will acquire through training should be transferred back to your host lab. The next unit of B1 part is impact, where it is important to explain how you will promote your research and what the impact of this research will be. For example, you can provide specific information about communication activities targeting different audiences, starting with more specialized groups such as scientists or students, but also reaching broader audiences. You may also describe the communication channels you will use, as well as some publications and conferences that you consider relevant for disseminating your research. It is important to connect the dissemination and communication activities with a Gantt chart. And you should also highlight the impact of your research at the scientific, societal, and economic levels, if applicable. I will focus on the societal level, where it is important to show how your research relates to broader goals, national, European, or even global. And you can give specific examples of how your work will contribute to higher-level objectives, such as tackling infections, reducing pollutants, or addressing other European and global matters. Demonstrating economic impact can also be helpful if applicable to your research. For instance, instead of simply stating that something is more economically viable, you can provide an estimate of how much more economical it is, even as an order of magnitude approximation. Moving to criterion 3, implementation. I would like to emphasize that you need to explain clearly when and how each work package, deliverable, and activity will be implemented. In this unit, you should show that you have a detailed work plan, and it is necessary to include separate work packages for project management and dissemination and communication. You're also expected to provide the Gantt chart, and it should clearly present each activity and its implementation schedule. It may be beneficial to present a coherent narrative behind your activities, how they are interconnected. You can justify why its activity is scheduled at a specific time point or why the chosen duration. It is very important to provide a solid risk and mitigation plan. For example, to explain why a specific objective might fail and what countermeasures you would implement in that case. As mentioned earlier, you should also explain why your host institution is the ideal environment for carrying out the proposed research. Describe the infrastructure and facilities that will support your work, including analytical equipment, specialized labs, and any software tools that will be made available to you. You can also describe how you will be integrated into the lab, the wider university environment, and the host country. This may include plans to improve your language skills, for example, by attending a language course, as well as support structures like an international welcome desk if available at your host university. And now some concluding remarks. Follow the template from the very beginning. Show a clear and logical link between what you aim to achieve and how you will achieve it. Evaluators appreciate clarity, precision, and feasibility. Figures support your narrative, but they do not in any case replace it. Make sure you provide all the required info in the correct subsection because misplaced content can affect negatively your evaluation. Describe what you bring to the host and what the host will teach you. Show clearly why you are suitable, capable, and motivated to carry out the proposed research. Include scientific skills, transferable skills, and long-term career perspectives. And last but not least, show alignment between your project, your profile, and the host's expertise and infrastructure. Good luck to all of you with your future applications, and thank you for your attention.